Welcome to Let's Talk Literature. I'm Em.
And I'm Will.
And we're two book lovers who wanted to combine our passions for reading and gossiping and share it with the world.
Whether you're looking for a new book to pick up or a new book friend, you come to the right place.
So grab a coffee.
Or a little wine and let's talk literature. I have my Cosmo mocktail.
Please don't ever talk about anything similar to alcohol around me ever again. Okay?
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
Okay.
I'm actually so sorry.
Cheers.
I'll take my sip.
I'll just take my sip in silence.
Oh. Man, that Cosmo though, so good.
Guys, we are on the
guys.
struggle bus today for multiple
Me
reasons.
and Em, like not even 30 seconds before recording, decided that we were going to be real today.
No faking it. This is us.
This is us.
And we're not okay.
I just want to take a poll, for all of you listening out there. Who feels like they're being put through one of those cement barrels that are just churning, and then but it's nonstop, and
Me.
take that, but then put it inside the Gravitron ride at an amusement park, and it's just going like that, but then it stops all of a sudden, and then it just sends you off into space.
Yeah, no, babe, you actually put that into the perfect way to explain how I'm feeling right now.
Yeah,
so thank
things
you for
have
that.
things have been much better than they have been as of late. Yeah.
Things are not the best, but we
No.
showed up for ourselves and for each other and for you guys, and we're gonna push through and talk about some books because
Yes,
it
we
always
are,
makes me
but
feel better after an episode.
It does. It really does.
It's
These
like
are
the
my
gym.
favorite episodes too, because
They're
they're
so
structured
good.
in that they're a wrap up, but
Exactly.
they're also a little ramble that I don't know, it's chill old time.
It is. It is.
I'm just happy to also just be inside because it is over 100 degrees in the Northeast right now. The city in heat is probably the worst thing you can imagine. I wouldn't wish it on my worst enemy.
Yeah, that sounds
Yet
awful.
I'm living through it right now.
Yeah, but I did choose this willingly. But that's okay.
I did. And I also did choose to keep a car for 4 years that has had broken AC that I haven't gotten fixed because every year I'm I'm getting a new car this year. It's been 4 years.
One of these years
4
it's
years.
bound to happen. You should
One of
get
them.
one of those little, those things that go around your neck that have the air that blow.
Oh, like a fan?
Yeah. You wear it around your neck.
Is it just blowing hot air or is it cool air?
No, it's cool air it blows, I think. And it people get it for I guess amusement parks and stuff. Maybe for a plane. Yeah.
Ooh, okay. I do
That might
need
be
that.
nice for you.
It might be, yeah. I'll consider.
Okay.
I will consider it.
All right.
Any updates? I am recovering from an accident still. So that's
Yes, you are.
nice. And my job is just not it right now. So I'm pushing through that. And I'm taking one from my therapist's book right here. I'm trying to choose the silver lining of this whole thing we call life. And that is just to take the best of what you have and appreciate the good in the bad, because there's a lot of bad right now. So
There is. It's just something is in the air, and it's been for since the weather got warm.
yeah,
Things have been going awry in every sense.
I want to go back to the two of us during our ins and out episode and just warn them of what's to
God.
come.
I'm going to hold your hand and tell you it's not going to go
Yeah.
well. It's
Yeah.
not. You're not going to have fun.
They're it's a bad state in the world when the most trending thing right now is people reenacting situations as minions.
Mm-hmm.
Bello, banana bello.
Yeah, no, that's a
Yeah.
recession indicator, actually.
No, truly. That is truly a recession indicator.
Like even like put aside like, okay, both of us are like going through a roller coaster of shit right now. But like we're in a war too.
Yeah, that's like that is definitely the overarching dark storm cloud over everything.
Like, of course.
And it's really just bleeding into everything.
It is.
It really is.
It is. It's frightening. It's very frightening.
Did you just see he dropped the F-bomb on live television?
Yeah, I did, and I kind of liked that. Like, I hate him, but I was kind of like, never heard a president say that word before. I'd still like to kill you, but I've never heard a president say that.
Oh man, this is when I know we're in a bad way.
This
right
is
now.
a recession indicator.
This
too.
is a recession indicator.
Like, it kind of was cool to see. It didn't make me like him. That's for sure.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Just because we just did our book talk drama episode, there is some major drama going on in the book talk world right now.
Oh, regarding
people are calling very popular creators out for not actually reading books.
Oh.
And that they're just like giving positive reviews to like arcs that they've received just to
get
like
more.
Push publishers like and get in their good graces to get more stuff. Yeah.
Are they names? Is there names being dropped?
There are names being dropped.
Okay.
I don't have them off the top of my head, so I don't want to like call someone out and be wrong. So, but yeah, there's some piping hot tea that we just missed.
Wow. And you know what else regarding book talk drama? I found this girl on YouTube. I found a book, a booktuber. Her name is Book Lover Laura. And I think that she originally was doing like mainly like wrap ups and stuff like that we typically do. She had like a video series blow up calling out, I forget who it was calling out. She was calling out an author who like scammed her fans out of like $95,000. Like, it's actually insane. So now she covers like all of these like book talk drama and scams and all this stuff. And I've been watching her religiously. Like, it's really interesting stuff.
I love creators that like really dive into pop culture and like do like scandals like that. Mm-hmm. I can't think of the person's name, but she did that kind of thing with like YouTuber scandals back in the day.
Yeah.
And like would have like big prints of like everyone's faces that were involved and would like use like a pointer and everything. Oh,
I know
so
exactly
great.
what you're talking about. I've seen her before.
Yeah.
I love that kind of video.
Oh, me too. I will sit there for an hour and a half.
Oh yeah.
I will sit there.
I watched I don't know if this is the last thing I'll say. I don't know if you've gone down the rabbit hole of like Christian fundamentalism and like comment
that you couldn't pay me
to guess what
you were
just
going
to
say.
No, I know. I'm obsessed with commentary on like Christian fundamentalism.
Okay.
I don't know if I'd consider myself like agnostic or an atheist. I'm not really sure, so I guess more so agnostic. And I love deep dives into like the downfalls of organized religion, especially Christianity. I just love it. Like, I eat that stuff up. Yeah. And I watched a 7.5 hour video on YouTube last month from Rachel Oates. I'm not sure if you know her, but she does a lot of like deep dives on like feminist stuff and like all that. And she did a 7.5 hour video about Paul and Morgan, and they're like a Christian YouTube couple. And that's really the end of the story. I just really want you to watch it and get into it, because it's literally like 8 hours of like uncovering the crazy stuff that happens in this relationship. Like, it's just like I was glued there. I watched the whole thing in like 2 days.
It's basically like true crime in a way.
It is. I love it.
Yeah, I get hooked on like cult, like true crime books.
Me too.
And if it's real, like
even better.
I go through ebbs and flows with like true crime docs. I'll
Yeah.
watch 4 in a row, and then I won't watch another one for 6 months. So
Yeah.
catch me in my true crime phase, then I'll hit you up. I will hit you up.
That might be what you need right now.
It might actually, because
Might be
yeah, you know
nice.
what? Let's dive into today's reads because
Yeah.
I think
This is long.
it'll sum up what we're feeling these days.
Yeah, I think so too.
I first want to go over our book club book, which we released the episode for Atmosphere by Taylor Jenkins Reid last week. I think it's one of my favorite episodes we've ever done. Truly. I think we had such great commentary on it. We both loved the book, so I feel like our passion was there.
Yeah.
So if you missed that episode, please, please, please go give it a watch,
Yeah, that
especially
was,
if you've read
my
the book.
favorite book club episode, I think.
Yeah, for sure. So if you missed it, be sure to check it out. And be sure to join us for next month's book club for July, as we'll be reading My Friends by Frederick Bachman, which
I
was chosen
forgot
for
we were
June.
reading that. I'm so excited.
I know. I am so excited for it. People said it's very summer-esque, so we are deep in the hot months of summer, and
Just
I think
what
this
we
book will
need.
be great for it. But that brings me to my dilemma that I was just in.
Okay.
So I knew that My Friends was going to be July's pick for the book club. And what I do with my Kindle, now I see this as a very selfless act. Okay? I see it as a selfless act. I will put, I don't know, what's the limit? 6 holds? I will put 6 holds out for books, all coming in around the same time. Then I will get them within the 2-week span that you have the books. Then, once I have all the books that I got, I will airplane mode my Kindle and then return everything. So I'll have them downloaded on my Kindle, which I can still read at leisure, and everyone else who's next in line can get the book. I feel like it's
just
very
like any
selfless.
just like any good Samaritan would do.
Exactly. So I did that thinking that My Friends was going to be last month's book club, which it was not. We had to change gears. So my Kindle has been on airplane mode for a few weeks now. And I've been slacking a little bit with reading, so I didn't get to all the books on my Kindle that I have airplane moded, if that's even a term or a phrase. So now my next wave of books that I did this for are coming in now. So now I have to push my next grouping of books off. So I'm like really pushing to get all of the books done that are on my Kindle now, which another one is Beartown by Frederick Bachman. So I put out a TikTok and was like, hey, I need help picking my next book. And everyone was like, Beartown, because I gave like 3 suggestions. Two were on the Kindle, 1 is a physical book. So I'm now reading Beartown, and I have a feeling that it's going to take me a little bit to get through, and then I'm just going to roll right into My Friends. So now I'm scared because I'm doing a back-to-back Bachman read here, and I do love his writing style. It takes a lot to get used to, but I don't want to I don't typically read either a series back-to-back or the same author back-to-back. So I hope that this doesn't affect how I like both books,
I think that you'll be okay because I feel like they're very different. Like one's literally winter and one's summer.
Yeah.
I feel like they're very different, so it'll be refreshing once you finish one to go to the next. And my follow-up to that is maybe could I possibly buddy read Beartown with you?
Yes, I started already.
Okay.
Did you want to start?
Yeah, I can catch up.
Do you have it? Do you have the physical?
No, but I'm going to look. I think it's on Kindle Unlimited.
Oh. See, maybe I should just get that.
I could be wrong. But I will check.
Well, it's good so far. There's intrigue there.
Okay.
I still have to get a little bit more into it. But there's a lot of hype around it, so I'm trying not to let that
I've heard
sway
nothing
me.
but good things about it.
Yeah. So I'm excited. Definitely excited. But
Cool.
I was just a little scared to jump into it because
Understood.
I knew that I'd be reading it. And plus
Yeah.
it's a winter book. Like it feels like a winter book.
It is.
So I don't know if that's going to affect my mood because it's summer. The dead heat of summer. So
the dead heat of summer.
Dead heat. So we'll see. But that's my current read right now is
Okay.
Beartown. I don't know why I jumped to that right now.
Okay, well, I guess I could share my current read too, because that sounds fun.
Yes, please.
I'm in the middle of like 85 books, and I'm not quite sure why. And
I
that
also have
is
another.
that you're in the middle of. That's a preface to why I only have 2 books to talk about today, besides for book club, because I'm like not doing good with managing my reading right now. But I am reading Bury Our Bones in the Midnight Soil by V.E. Schwab, and I'm like a third, maybe a fourth of the way into it, and I adore it.
Oh, good.
It is
good.
Reading very similar to Addie LaRue. So that's fantastic for me, because I love Addie LaRue. That's like my favorite book ever. Yeah, I don't want to say anything else because I don't want to give it away, but the writing is like very gripping. It really, like, you feel like you're there. And there's like 2 different settings. One of them is like the 1500s, and the other is like 2019 in Boston. So it's very, very different, and it works, because that's a really hard thing to balance, I think. And I was nervous, but it works. I barely started this. Like, I literally am maybe 10 pages into it, but I'm also reading Cultish by Amanda Montell. And I'm also reading The Art of Frugal Hedonism. I don't know what the author's name is. Sorry. I'll type it in. And I'm not sure why I'm reading that, but it's quite interesting. It's all about like reshaping your mindset into living a more frugal life, and like how being more frugal can basically provide you like more opportunity for pleasure, and like how to rewire your brain into like getting away from overconsumption, which I've definitely gotten into over the I feel like since COVID I've been in like an overconsumption spiral, and I need to get out of it. So
yeah, that's fair.
So that's a good step for me. And the last one I'm reading is Conspirituality. This is a nonfiction book about how like wellness can turn toxic very quickly, and I'm reading it as some research for my writing.
Ooh, I love that.
Yeah, so that's kind of why like my reading hasn't been that good this month, because like 2 weeks ago or like a weekish ago I started focusing more so on like nonfiction reading, and like reading very slow and taking notes, because it's gonna be for my writing. So fiction has kind of took the back burner for the time being, but I'm gonna get back into it.
And that's okay.
Yeah.
Hey, you did say that a goal of yours for this year was to read more nonfiction.
I did.
You're putting that into practice.
That's something.
I love that.
Thank you.
I want to do a little piggyback off of your nonfiction reads, because that is also the genre of my other book I'm currently reading. I'm actually listening to this. It's a long title, so give me a quick moment. It is called The Power of Habit, Why We Do What We Do in Life and Business by Charles Duhigg.
That sounds interesting.
Yeah, it's very much like a companion piece to Atomic Habits.
That's what I was thinking.
I am very much in a rut, if you could not tell by the way that I've been this episode. I remember reading Atomic Habits. It was was it around this time last year?
I feel like it was.
I feel like it was. It was, because I was between my old place. I moved home and then moved back into this place. So it was a transitional period, which I'm about to get into. I have been in it because of my new job. I found Atomic Habits to be very grounding for me and also eye-opening. So I thought picking up another book about habits will put me back on track, same way that Atomic Habits did for me. So this is really a throwing a line out there for something to help me get out of this rut. It's my Hail Mary. And so far it's been very eye-opening. I think I am enjoying it less than Atomic Habits so far. But
that
definitely
one you loved, though, so I feel like that would be hard.
Absolutely loved it, yeah. I also took my time with that one. I read that one like every night before bed.
Yeah.
It was developing a routine in itself. Whereas this one, I'm just listening to it at work, on my way to work, kind of thing. So I'm really hoping this gets me out. This helps me out. And I think moving forward, for the next little bit, I want to focus more on listening to nonfiction books, more self-help books for the time being. I know they can be chuggy and not really everyone's cup of tea, but again, just throwing a line out there for something to help me. So yeah, that I'm about, I'd say, a third of the way in, and then with Beartown, I'm probably like 70 pages in or so.
Amazing.
So definitely probably going to finish the audiobook by the end of the month, maybe Beartown by the end of the month.
Amazing.
So be sure to check out me and Em's posts on our personal accounts for our full wrap up after this episode.
Yes, for sure. All right, let's jump into the books we read. How many do you have to share?
I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I have 4, and then Atmosphere was 5.
You killed it this month.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
All right, you go first because I only have 2 to share.
Okay, I'll do 2, and then you do your 1, and then we'll go back and forth.
Perfect.
So we'll start out strong. I mean, Atmosphere started out strong. Atmosphere was a 6-star read for me. I still feel the same way. Absolutely loved the hell out of that book. Just no notes. Literally amazing. Next book, I rated it at the time a 4.5. I'm actually thinking it might go down for me. And this is Sunrise on the Reaping by Suzanne Collins. I love everything about The Hunger Games. Truly. It is, at this point, a huge nostalgia thing for me. Catapults me back to when I was a teen. I grew up with the world, basically. And everything and anything about this world and this series and this franchise, I love. The movies, the books, everything about it. This book brought a lot of context into the world that we know, and it brought a lot of context into the characters that we know. I felt as though this was very much a fan service kind of book, which there's nothing wrong with that. It did a lot of tie-ins to the rest of the world. But as a standalone book, I feel like you wouldn't get much out of it if you didn't already read the other books. So even though it's a prequel, I still feel like you should read Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, the series, and then read this book. Because it ties in Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes and the entire trilogy. So you will get more of a impact on things that are revealed with this book if you had already read the other ones. I had a really good time with this. Like, go ahead, sorry.
No, I was just going to say, I would also say Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes read after the original trilogy. Because I feel like it would make a bigger impact.
Yeah. Even though these are prequels, I still feel like you should read the original trilogy before reading the prequels.
Yeah.
And that's like, we didn't have a choice because that's how we read it. Mm-hmm. But even going back, I think I would do the same thing if I could do it all over again. I just really thought this was a bit overhyped. It didn't really get me emotionally, to be honest. I was expecting a huge emotional punch. There were some really devastating parts. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
Devastating. But nothing ever moved me. Like, I wasn't crying. I didn't, like, what Atmosphere did to me did not happen. Like, not even close.
I see. Yeah.
Not even close.
It didn't touch your soul.
Exactly. Now, did I enjoy it? Of course I did. I love Haymitch. I love Effie. I love all these characters. Like, the tie-ins with everything was so cool. I was just like, oh, I know them. I knew that. I know what that is. Like, it was really cool. Brought me right back to that time of when I was reading it originally.
Yeah.
But I just feel as though if it can't stand alone, because I feel like Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes could stand alone as its own thing. If you hadn't read the trilogy, I just feel like this, you can't really read it on its own. Which, like, okay, is that really an expectation with this kind of book? No. But overall, a little overhyped for me. I think I might put it at a 4.25, maybe a 4. Definitely nothing less than that, but I'd say between a 4 and a 4.5 is where it's sitting for me.
Okay. All right. I'll take that.
The next one I have is a memoir, which I listened to on audiobook. It is called Everything I Know About Love by Dolly Alderton.
I didn't know you read that.
Yes, I did. And I absolutely loved it. I really did.
So good.
Now, this wasn't a book like I wasn't the main audience for this kind of book, but I still got a lot out of it.
Yeah.
I feel as though this really flowed like a fiction novel. Like, it had a narrative, it had a really good plot, in my opinion. And I felt like the way that she broke up the story really made sense to me. And I got a lot out of it with friendship, with self-love, with love in general. I think it's just a very fitting story to read in that transitional period, post-grad, in your 20s, early 20s, going to mid-20s. It just made me feel very validated in all the uncertainty of my life. Because there is a lot of uncertainty right now in my life. So I feel as though if you're feeling very lost, this is a good book to really latch onto.
I totally forgot about that book. I read it, I want to say, in like 2020, and I think I should read it again because I feel like it would definitely resonate even more.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. For sure. I didn't rate it like too grand because like I really did enjoy it. It just I wasn't the audience for it. I gave it a 3.5. Like, it got the emotional response out of me with it. I enjoyed my time with it. I didn't have anything wrong with it. I just thought it was great.
Yeah.
And I do recommend it for sure.
Perfect. Okay. My turn. My first one that I'm going to share was one of my most anticipated of the year, and this was Don't Let Him In by Lisa Jewell, which I adored. I thought it was so good. I am such a Lisa Jewell fan. I will read anything and everything that she puts out, and this one did not disappoint. Basically, the story follows 3 women and how they are connected from this one man. And we are mainly following our main character, Nina, who has lost her husband recently. And it is just her and her daughter at home. Her daughter's like in her 20s or so. And they receive a like condolence card from an old friend of the late husband's. And nobody like knows who he is, and they're like, in the letter it says that he worked with the husband in the restaurant industry a while ago, and he just wanted to send his condolences. And eventually he ends up like meeting up with her, and they end up dating. And then you have to read it because it takes really quite the interesting turn on how these 3 women are connected. But it's basically like this man just comes out of left field and you have no idea like where he's from. He has a really like shady past. And once again with Lisa Jewell, she thrives on writing like atmospheric, moody mysteries, I'd say. Like, it's considered a thriller, but I definitely think she's more into like the drama mystery aspect of that than like scary and like plot twists. Like, it just felt so dark and moody, and I really felt like I was transported into the book. I really loved it. The only thing I didn't love was the way it was wrapped up, so for that reason I gave it a 4-star. I just felt like the ending felt almost a little rushed, and like just wasn't her best way of wrapping it up, but the story itself was so gripping. I really enjoyed it, and I would absolutely recommend it.
I definitely want to borrow that book because I know you got it as an ARC. And I would love to read it because I love Lisa Jewell as well.
You do?
It's been a little bit since I've read her. I think the last thing I read from her was The Family Remains, or Family Upstairs.
Yeah.
One of the two.
Next time I see you, I'll bring it.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. All right. My next book is also a little thriller. It's more of a true crime book than a thriller, I would say. It is Bright Young Women by Jessica Knoll. So this book, it centers around the murders of Ted Bundy, but you wouldn't even know that it was about Ted Bundy unless like you already kind of knew what that was about back then, because this story does a really cool thing of not even name dropping him at all. He just goes by, I think it's the perpetrator or something like that.
I love that.
The entire book. So this book really focuses on the victims. And it was a discussion and really a dissection of true crime in general and the obsession that people have with it. And it's like people really glorify and fetishize these horrible people that did horrible things and forgetting that there were actual real victims that were affected. And Noel does a really good job of putting the spotlight on the victims, having their voices heard. She did a lot of research and talked to some of the survivors of Ted Bundy in the 1970s, and really did a lot of research into the area, as well as called out the misogyny that was present in the investigations that were going on during the time, and also in the media in the 1970s. It was just a really good take on the entire thing because of how it was written. I thought it was very well written. The characters were very fleshed out and real. I just had some setbacks with the structure. I thought it was like a bit confusing, convoluted at times. I thought it was very, I don't know, like piecewise. You kind of got lost in like where and when you were in the story, and it just really made it hard to determine what was actually fact and what was fiction, and that line being blurred kind of took you out of the story sometimes. So the structure really didn't do well for me with this book, and it spent a lot of time discussing like the legal process of it all, which is interesting, but like to a point. Then it's like, okay, if you're going to do a fiction take on all these factual events, and a lot of it is like courtroom legal things, why are you focusing so much on that? And is it all even true? So it was just like, that line was really blurred, and it made it a bit confusing. So overall, I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed what Jessica Knoll was doing with the story and the themes of it all. I thought that the plot was riveting. I thought that the characters were really well fleshed out, but the structure made it a bit convoluted for me.
Okay.
I gave it a 3.5. It gave me that emotional response that I was looking for, but it didn't send it into a category of I would go out of my way to really recommend it. So definitely worth checking out. Just like wasn't one of my favorites, I would say.
I actually have had that on my shelf for a while now, and I've been just contemplating when to pick it up. But the way you described it sounds very interesting, but I do see what you mean. Yeah. I do see how it could get like convoluted and stuff, but it really messed
with the pacing overall.
Yeah.
So you got to really be in the true crime mood.
Yeah.
To pick this up, I think.
Understood. Very nice. All right. Well, thank you.
Thank you.
My last one that I'm sharing with you today is kind of such a random and odd pick, but we're just going to roll with it, okay? This is Everything is Tuberculosis by John Green.
Nice.
I'm not sure why I read this book as a hypochondriac. It was frightening.
Oh, God.
It scared me. It made me very scared of never finishing, which I've never done this. If you're listening to this and you're somebody who doesn't finish your antibiotics, don't do that, okay? Don't do that. Finish your antibiotics, because we are all becoming drug and antibiotic resistant, and it's scaring the living out of me, okay? Anyways, the book goes on a huge tangent on that for like a while, and it really scares me so bad. Like, they talk about like a super bug that like is very likely impossible, and it's frightening beyond belief. I read this at a point when I was sick, and it scared me even more because they talk about not being able to breathe, because with tuberculosis your lungs are literally like collapsing, and I truly felt like my lungs were also collapsing. So it was a really immersive experience for me, and not really in the best way. But I will say the book was interesting, especially if you are interested in like world health and the inequality of treatment and medicine and the price gauging and stuff like that. It was really eye-opening to see the difference in treatment from somewhere like America to somewhere like Sierra Leone, which a lot of the book does focus on. The treatment is just so different, and the fact that there is a treatment and there is a cure for tuberculosis, but it's not very accessible in Sierra Leone and a lot of other places in the world. So a lot of people still die from tuberculosis when it is a manageable disease. So it was really eye-opening. I'm realizing now as I speak about
That
it that
is-
I really was quite interested in it. I was scared. Was I frightened that I was going to get tuberculosis? Yeah, I was. But I read it and I feel a little bit smarter for it.
I love that. But I'm also like, I have such bad health anxiety.
Yeah,
So I don't
me
know
too.
if I could. I don't know if I could read that.
Yeah, no,
because
I
would
was
just
literally
send
like,
myself into.
okay,
Yeah.
your lungs are working, babe. Your lungs are working.
I would do the same thing.
I have to get tuberculosis tested every year for my Crohn's because I don't know why they do it every year, but I don't know. I get tested every year, and every time I get tested, I'm like, oh my God, I'm going to have it. Like, I'm going to have
Stop. Stop it.
it. Like, it just scares me so bad. So I felt like I had to read this because, I don't know. One, I love John Green's nonfiction work
Yeah.
and his fiction
Yeah.
work, of course. But I like his recent transition to more nonfiction. And I think he did a really good job of providing like further reading and stuff. Like the whole last chapter is him just recommending podcasts, books, interviews
Oh,
of
nice.
like further reading for different
Yeah.
topics that he talks about throughout the book. So I do think it was interesting. Definitely for like somebody who's specifically like interested in this, because it is very much focused on like the facts and stuff. So it's not really like a gripping fun read. So yeah, I would recommend it if you're into that kind of thing. But I liked it. I think I'm going to give it a 3.5. I didn't rate it yet, but I think it's going to be a 3.5.
Gotcha. I have his, one of my Libby holds is that Anthropocene reviewed.
That's a good one.
That I'm going to have that next. And then if I like that, maybe I'll give this one a shot. But with caution.
Yeah. Tread lightly, okay? Be careful.
My last book is also a nonfiction.
Look at us.
Wouldn't really call it a nonfiction, but a memoir / diary, I would say. It is What I Ate in 1 Year by Stanley Tucci.
I forgot about that godforsaken book.
Okay. So Em low-key put me on this book, but like I don't think she meant to.
No, I didn't.
I really enjoy Stanley Tucci's work. Okay. I enjoy
As do
his
I.
work. I also enjoy cooking.
Mm-hmm.
I also enjoy Italian food.
Yeah.
This book is made for both. You have to be both a Stanley Tucci die-hard fan, and also the only thing you eat is Italian
food. You eat pasta every night for dinner.
Yeah, or you have to
And
be like
mozzarella.
Italian American that like says words with Italian inflection. Like if you say
Yeah.
like rigut, like you might
Rigut.
like this book.
Yeah, if you say regut, you're going to love this book.
Yeah, you're gonna love because he goes Parmigiana. Like
Parmigiano.
he is so
Parmesan.
much. He puts so much emphasis on the words that he's saying. He honestly sounds a bit pretentious, a bit condescending.
He does. I said in my review, I didn't even finish the book. I DNF'd it, but I said, I think you should only read this if you really love Stanley Tucci or if you really love Italian food.
Yep.
And I should have been a little bit more serious about that because you do love both of those things, but not to the
Yeah.
extent that's necessary to enjoy the book.
Yeah, no. Like there were call outs to like different celebrities he cooked for, which was
Mhm.
really cool, but he honestly just came off as mean.
He did,
Like
and I
it
was,
was
a bit
just
bored.
mean. It was a little boring. It was mean. It was pretentious. It was condescending.
And also, he doesn't have saliva.
Yeah,
Or some-
that's a little
something.
odd.
Like, he can't-
Yeah, it's
He has to like
something
chew
weird.
really. I don't know. I was like, okay.
Something
I don't like that.
weird like that. But yeah, like it just felt like I felt like I was being judged. I don't know. It just
mhm.
didn't come off. It just didn't come off well. I would not recommend it.
Mm-mm.
You're not going to get anything out of it. I actually forgot that I read it, and then I put my list together for this episode, and
You're
it was
like,
on
"Oh,
there, and I was like,
There's
oh,
Stanley.
there it is. I think this is generous. I gave it 2 stars. I did finish it, so I had to rate it.
Yeah.
I still love him. Good on you, Stanley Tucci. I respect you. but maybe a little bit less now.
Yeah.
Definitely
The
a
meter
little
went
bit
down
less.
a little bit.
Yeah. Will I be looking at any other Stanley Tucci books that are out? No. This is my one and only.
It's not his path.
No.
It's like something his mom would love. Like
Yeah.
a mom would love it.
Yes. And like, if you really are curious, go for the audiobook. He reads it to you, and you can just tell he's being smug.
Maybe that was our mistake. I'd listened to it too, and I was just like, shut your mouth up. Shut the hell up, Stanley.
Simmer down. Simmer down, Stanley.
You're doing too much.
Simmer down, Caesar
He's like,
Flickerman. Come on now.
In Sicily, recording, filming day
In
30
Sicily,
for the
Parmigiana
conclave.
and
Had Parmesan for lunch.
Not conclave.
On day 75 of filming Conclave.
Conclave. I had Parmigiana.
By the way, I was in the movie Conclave. Have you seen it? It was good.
Yeah, not my cup of tea.
No.
But maybe someone else's. Honestly, if you're looking for a book about cooking, go read Ina Garten's memoir. That was beautiful. Thank you guys for sticking around for this episode. I know it was a little interesting.
It was.
But if you want to check out one of the best episodes of all time, go check out last episode.
It's only right that we were a mess this episode because last episode was so incredibly perfect.
Yeah.
If you did enjoy this episode, thank you for sticking with us through our rough times. But please feel free to give us a 5-star rating on Spotify, subscribe to us on YouTube, get notifications turned on so you never miss an episode. But we do post every single Friday at 6 a.m. So they are out and ready for you to listen on your way into work or whatever it is you're doing.
Also, be sure to join us over on Fable for our book club. We will be reading My Friends by Frederick Bachman for the month of July. And if you refer someone to our club, you get a $5 book credit that can go towards your copy of My Friends.
Yes, you do.
And also be sure to follow us on Instagram and TikTok, as well as subscribe on YouTube. Leave a like, comment, share, do it all.
Let us know what you read this month.
Yes, please. Yes. This was a very interesting reading month for myself.
Me as well.
I'm curious to see what you guys are up to.
Thank you guys so much for watching, and we will see you next week for another episode of
Let's Talk Literature.
Bye. Bye.